few steps from my office sits one of my favorite places in the city, the beautiful grounds of the Art Museum. It has winding walking paths, outdoor sculptures that catch the light just right, quiet corners where you can have real conversation, and galleries inside that maybe I've only explored once, but I'm told they're incredible year-round. During the workday, it's my reset button. After lunch, I like to take a 20-minute stroll through the park. Other times during the day, I get to do a walking working meeting, and if somebody asks me where I want to go, it's always to the museum. It's peaceful, it's beautiful, it's just far enough away from the noise that you can think clearly. A few weeks ago, I headed out for my usual walk. It had been a cold week, but that particular day, it had warmed up into the high 50s, maybe the low 60s. The sun was out, no wind, and as somebody who runs warm and genuinely enjoys the cooler air, I left my jacket at the office. I just wore a jeans and a polo shirt, and that's it. I felt great. As I approached the museum, I passed a couple walking from the parking lot. They were bundled up, jackets zipped, scarves on, gloves at the ready. As they got closer, I overheard the woman say, "And then there's this chick, just wearing a polo shirt. No jacket, no nothing." I don't know what they had been discussing before that, but probably something along the weather and maybe how chilly it felt to them. But for a brief moment, I became Exhibit A in their case for, "It's too cold out." Her comment didn't really bother me, but it did make me think for a second. Because that tiny throwaway remark reveals something deeply human. We are constantly judging. Not necessarily in a cruel way, not always with bad intentions, but our brains are built to calculate, compare, assess. Every person we see, every interaction we have, we're running silent evaluations. What are they wearing? Why are they doing that? Would I do it that way? It's almost automatic. The problem isn't that we judge, the problem is what we do with those judgments. The trap is believing that because I would wear a jacket, everyone else should wear a jacket. Or because I wouldn't, no one else should. The trap is assuming sameness equals correctness. I have a coworker I often do walking meetings with at the museum. He's much more cold-natured than I am. If I'm in a polo shirt, he's probably got a jacket. And if I'm in a jacket, he's probably has gloves and a hat. And we know this about each other. There's no commentary, no comparison, no subtle competition about who's tougher or more prepared. We're just different. And it's fine. No moral high ground, no right or wrong, just different thermostats. Yet with others outside of jackets and the weather, we don't extend the same grace. We compare careers, we compare relationships and personalities and timelines. We'll say things like, well, they're ahead, or she's more confident, he's more successful, or they seem more put together. We see someone metaphorically wearing a jacket when we're not, or not wearing one when we are, and we start questioning ourselves. Maybe I should be more like them. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. Maybe I don't match up. But here's the truth. You don't know their internal temperature. You don't know what they're built for. You don't know what season they're in. And you don't know what wind they're facing. I knew exactly where I was going that day at the museum. I knew the sun was out. I knew I'd be moving. I knew I run warm, typically. From the outside, it may have looked like I was underdressed. But from the inside, I was perfectly equipped for where I was going. And that's how life works. From the outside, someone might think you're underprepared, overdressed, too bold, too quiet, moving too fast or too slow. But they don't live in your body. They don't carry your experiences. They don't wake up in your mind every morning. You do. There is a time and a place for judgment, a time and a place for healthy comparison. But I would argue that 99% of the time, comparison is just noise. It steals joy, it steals confidence, and it steals presence. That day, I could have replayed that lady's comment in my head. I could have wondered if I looked foolish. I could have second-guessed myself. Instead, I just smiled and kept on walking. I enjoyed the breeze. I enjoyed the sunlight on my skin. I enjoyed the crisp air filling my lungs. Because I was dressed for my experience, not theirs. So here's my challenge to you. If you're the only one in the room without a jacket, be okay with that. And if you're the only one with one, be okay with that too. If your path looks different, your pace feels different, your preferences seem different, pause before you assume that different means wrong. Give yourself permission to know your own internal climate. Be thoughtful. Be socially aware. Don't go off the deep end, as I like to say. But if you're genuinely within the lines of basic human decency and respect, you can stop obsessing about how everyone else is dressed for their walk. They have to look themselves in the mirror each morning, and you have to look at yourself. So cut yourself some slack. Trust your judgment about your own life, and maybe sometime this week, go for a walk at your version of the art museum, with or without your jacket. Either way, make sure you're comfortable in your own skin.